know you want to do this intro because, listen, we're excited. This is exciting.
I was really excited when she agreed to come on to honor us and be on here tonight. This is someone who I never thought I would meet. I'm a huge fan of hers. I'm a huge fan of her two of her songs, but Honey to a Bee has always been one of my favorites. This woman from Beat Street and songs on Beat Street to the Goonies to Honey to a Bee. Yeah, opera. This woman has done it all. So please put your hands together for the incomparable Tina B.
I want to say two things. So I didn't really know about Jenny, and so listening to her, so she's probably the youngest freestyle artist. I'm probably the oldest, right? No, definitely the oldest. And you mentioned Tony Moran, which is really funny because the vocal for January February was a demo. So Andy Panda wrote that song. It's produced by him and the Latin Rascals, right? And so I was sitting in the studio, and Andy comes to me, and he's got the words written out, handwritten on a piece of paper, and he just sort of sings it to me. He's like, "This is the melody. We've got the track, right?" Oh, wow. So go in the studio, and I sing it like I never heard this thing before, and I didn't really even know it, right? It was just like, what? Because Andy's not really a singer, right? So it was just kind of like whatever. And we spent hours trying to do a more polished, better vocal, and then it was, fuck it, like demo, just that,
my kind of girl,
that raw thing. It whatever. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I have those two things in common with Jenny, that being the oldest freestyle artist and the that vocal. But
well, that's one of those who listen to the music and then don't really look who's involved with it, as long as I know who the artist is. Like, I don't know the background of the producer, the writer. So that's real interesting. I didn't know that. Tony's been around.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, no. So because he used to work at our studio. So when I was married to Arthur Baker, we had a studio, and him, Tony and Albert would sit in this little room. It was just this tiny room, and they would just cut tape. It was like tape all over the walls. It was hysterical.
I remember when Willie Valentine used to do that.
That is so cool, though. That you probably have so many.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I got stories. We got stories, all right. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We can hear them all. I'm ready.
Yeah. I know a lot of people. When I brought it up to some of my friends, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have Tina B." They were like, "Oh, what does she sing?" I was like, "Are you out of your rocker?" What did she sing?
No, Honey to a Bee has a really interesting story to it, because it was recorded in 1983. I wrote it with Arthur, and he produced it with John Roby, and it was on my debut album on Elektra. But Elektra didn't know what to do with this music. Uh-huh. They put the record out. They didn't even let me do a video. It just kind of died, right? But people in the clubs had heard it, but it was never promoted. And then, like a couple of years later, almost, Tony and Albert said, we want to do a remix of this. And there was a label in New York called Vinyl Mania Records. I don't know if you guys sort of attached to that record store. And they wanted to put it out. And so they call me up and they go, Elektra won't license us the record.
Oh, wow.
And I was furious, right? So what I did was I found out where one of the A&R people was going to be at a club one night, and I stalked him. And I just walked up to him and I said, listen, I don't know why you won't license this to Vinyl Mania. This is my fucking life. What do you care about this record? You buried it. You probably don't even know what the words are. Like, what do you care? This is my life. I'm standing there in this club, and I wasn't drinking, nothing like that. I was just like, my life, right? So he goes, okay. So then the record had a second life.
Wow. Second life.
Thanks to that remix that the Latin Rascals did, and then it was a whole other thing. It was like a new thing. but it was funny.
But you spoke up. You fought for your.
Oh yeah, no,
you
I mean,
believed in yourself and the
I'm
record.
sure you ladies know the music business. You know, women aren't respected. So
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. But listening to the song, to me, it was very catchy because I was like, she's singing about a bumblebee.
yeah,
Is she really singing about a bumblebee? But I was younger at the time, so and then I started you listening to the words. And it was like, oh, it's a
metaphor. Yeah,
metaphor.
yeah.
Like stinging, and I was like, I'm not getting it. And then finally, I listened to the word. I said, oh, what are you, stupid?
But we made buttons. I still have one. They were yellow. There was a bee on it, and it said "Tina B stung me." And I used to throw it out. I used to throw them out into the audience.
Oh, that's a nice gimmick. I like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Is it your birthday today? Is today your birthday?
No, it was last week.
Well, happy belated.
Oh,
So
happy
everybody say
belated.
happy
How
birthday.
does it feel to be 25 again?
If only.
I stopped aging at 25. I don't care.
I don't want to be 25 again. No.
Yeah, well, if I were to turn back time and be at 25 again, and have that opportunity to know who not to mess with in the industry, oh my God, I think things would be a little different. But then again, when you go, if you think about, going back in time and trying to change things, maybe the road that got you to where you are now maybe wouldn't have happened. But I would have definitely punched a few people, my managers at the time, and record labels and stuff.
No, I had really bad luck with managers, so we.
Oh,
yeah.
Tell me about it. Oh, that's another interview. That's for a different time.
That'll be off
It's
camera.
all about positivity.
Yeah.
Right? NGW is all positivity. So it came out 90, late 89, 90, and she already had her stuff going on by that time.
Yeah, no, I started in 81. So I did a record for Tommy Boy called Jazzy Sensation, which was on the B side of the Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force. So it was, can you feel it? Can you feel it? And I actually did a remake of this with a label in London about 3 years ago. It did okay. I mean, they didn't really promote it, and then the guy died. The label guy died. So yeah, it was kind of weird. But he loved that track, and he just wanted to do it again. So it's
not that he died, but that you did a remake of it. That's
right. But that's when I got called Tina B, because it was Arthur he brought me in the studio, and he's like, okay, because I was rapping, right? It was a rap thing, thing. And so he said, well, you gotta have a name. Will you be Tina B? So okay. So that was the night I became Tina B. That was the first record.
I love that.
So was rapping your first love?
No, I mean, I was always a singer since I was just like Jenny. I mean, since I was a little kid. Like she says, when she knew she could sing. For me, and this is really going to tell you how old I am, it was watching American Bandstand. So when I was a kid, we'd have it on in the house, and I would stand there and I was dancing, copying the people and singing the songs. And then this light went off in my head, and I went, "Oh, I can do that. I can carry the tune." I wasn't thinking, "Oh, I'm a good singer," because I was 4, but it was like. Just knowing, oh yes, I can carry the tune, and then I started studying, doing whatever from there. But I went into a rock and roll band when I was 11.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rock and roll's always been my first love. It's kind of what I'm doing now. But the other thing that's really interesting is, I don't know if did you guys know Rockers Revenge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in Rockers and Revenge. So so we got back together after 40 years. Right before the pandemic, we started to do an album. We started touring. We played in Mykonos in Greece. We went to Barcelona. We went to Ibiza. We played in London. We were booked on festivals. This was in 2019, right? 2018, 2019. And then the pandemic happened and everything got canceled, right? So Arthur's done a documentary about us, which is premiering in November in London at a film festival called Dock and Roll. So we're all going. And we've got an album, and hopefully we'll get the album out with the documentary. So it's kind of fun. I mean, I love those guys, but I hadn't seen them for 40 years. But it was
that's fantastic.
No, it was great. It's fun. So I'm doing
that documentary.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get distribution after that, and it'll stream. We'll see. You never know. There's so many documentaries out there now. But
yeah, I'm sure it'll go. I mean, it's a great story. Just your name alone. You're not only synonymous with freestyle or Rockers Revenge and Beat Street. Hello.
Yeah.
How was that? That?
So Beat Street's a funny thing because they're actually doing a musical for it now. But they're rewriting the story. There's no part for me.
Boo.
No, it was really funny because so we, Arthur was doing the music for Beat Street, and I wrote this song with him, Nothing's Gonna Come Easy, which was supposed to be in one of the scenes. So I don't know if you remember the story, but the DJ's mother is yelling at him because she thinks that he should be doing something better with his life, right? And so that's what Nothing's Gonna Come Easy was written for that scene. But when Harry Belafonte heard it, he thought, no, this is, they asked me to be in the audition scene and sing it, right? So that's kind of how that happened. It was never like, oh, you're going to be in that movie. It was because of the song, and they just sort of liked the way it sat, and it worked with that audition scene. But my favorite thing is, and it's haunted me my whole life, is that scene in the audition scene. So like the DJ goes up and he's like, yeah, you got some bad talent there, and the guy goes, oh yeah, you like them? He goes, no, actually they're lame. And the guy goes, lame? Who you calling lame? You calling Tina B lame? And no, everyone was like, and that turned into Tina B ain't no hoe.
I love
like, Tina B ain't lame. No, she ain't lame. She ain't no hoe. Like it was just like.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because my husband did a mix, and he puts that exact
that clip
right in front of it.
Right?
Who you calling lame? Tina B ain't lame.
Oh, Tina B lame. I know.
Yeah. He actually did it for today's show, but I don't think.
You calling Tina B lame?
Thank you, Martin.
Yes, he's a big fan.
Listen, I am a lot of things, but I'm not lame.
You ain't no hoe.
Lame is definitely not one of them.
Right.
A lot of when I started in the industry, I listened to whatever was on the radio. Right. I knew nothing about the music industry. I just know what I heard and what I liked. When I got together with my husband, he was, showing me music, and I was like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh, this is so and so." And who's that? Oh, and this is so and so. I was like, I didn't know they had other songs. It's like, I swear I should have been born blonde.
What are you trying to say?
There's true blondes out there, but because I just didn't know. And so we're sitting in the car when we drive down to Miami for shows. We like to put on his mixes and just listen to the music and whatever. So he heard the song, and I fell in love with it instantly. And I know that the first time I met you in Miami at a show, I talked to you about it because it's been one of my favorite songs of yours besides Honey to Be, and that was each time you go.
Yeah,
that song gives me.
It never came out.
Yeah,
so
I
have it up on all the platforms now because I got all my rights back, so I own all my masters, right? But so I got signed to A&M and in the late '80s. And I put out a single called Bodyguard, which I wrote with David Cole, who was in CNC Music Factory. And Arthur and David produced it. And the Beastie Boys did the video. Like, it was really like, but A&M totally fucked it up. They put it out. It never did anything. So we went straight to the album, and Each Time You Go was on that album. And the album never came out. A&M got sold. They dropped all the artists, and it just, it was sad. But
it's a great song.
The album's on Spotify. Yeah, I know. I love that
Stream
song.
it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. And then on one of our trips, driving to Miami, he shows me that he goes, listen to this and see if you can tell me who it is. So I'm listening to it and I'm looking at him. And I'm like, what makes you think I would know who this person is? This is opera. What do I know about opera? I don't know anything about opera. And he was like, it's Tina B. I said, get the hell out of my face. I was like, what else can this woman do? I mean, from Honey to a Bee to opera.
Wow.
Well, but think about it, because the vocal on Honey to a Bee is very high, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had that range, but I didn't have the trained voice. Like I was like faking it. You know what I mean? Like I knew I could sing that high, but I couldn't really control my voice. It was, I did the best I could. But I knew it was there. And my voice teacher, Shep Pettibone's mother, was my voice teacher for a long time.
What?
And she, Mary Pettibone, she just recently died. It was so sad. But she kept pushing me. She wanted me to be an opera singer, and I was like, "Nah, I want to be Tina B. I don't want to be an opera singer." Right? But I eventually did do that, because after I got dropped from A&M, and then there was a sexual assault, and it was all just like, You know what? I don't want to deal with these guys. Like, I can't do this music business thing anymore. So I started studying classical, and I fucking loved it. So then I moved on to some stuff. I was working with Junior Vasquez on some like opera pop crossover, and then that segued into some other stuff. And then I ended up moving to London to work on a project there. But I love classical music. And it's really interesting, In fact, and I don't mean to be like condescending about it. It's closer to God. I just feel like that. It's more eternal.
Yes.
And I read once that, some commentator was saying that singing classical music is like twice praying.
Oh,
And
Wow.
I always loved that. It was like double praying because it's so intense to sing it. It's such a different experience. Years in New York, like I was in a proper training program. I was at Juilliard on the weekends, and then I went into this guy Vincent LaSelva who did the Juilliard adult education stuff. He had an opera company. I went into his opera company. I did like and I learned. I did Traviata, a workshop performance, and La Boheme, playing both the main female characters. So I mean, I spent a huge amount of time studying that. So but that's also the thing about it that is so great, because it takes you out of yourself. I mean, no matter what you say, we all love music, but we're divas. And when you get up on that stage singing freestyle or pop or whatever it is, it's all about fucking you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just right.
It's all your feelings and what you're putting out there.
Yeah, it's more of a personality thing. It's your personality. In opera, that's not the case. It's not about you at all. Like, you have to fill that. It's about that. And that's kind of what I loved about it, because it took me out of myself and I felt closer to God. It was just like really beautiful.
amazing.
I don't do it anymore, really. I did it for like 20 years. So it kind of was just enough. Now I'm back to doing rock and roll. But what's really interesting is I had a teacher in London when I was living there, and he said that opera's just sophisticated screaming. So he said it's very compatible with rock and roll, because so I do these high screams. I sing Back in Black by AC/DC, Dream On by Aerosmith. Like, I do those type of songs.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that's I always tell people that they get amazed. They're like, you don't listen to freestyle? I say, no, I listen to rock.
Yeah.
That's my go-to music. I perform freestyle, I love it, but my go-to music is rock. And right now my daughter's got me hooked on K-pop. It's like,
You like
wow.
that?
Yeah.
We have you in home saying it.
I want to give a shout out though to Nelson Cruz, who's no longer with us. Like Baby Don't Go was always one of my favorite songs, and he was one of my favorite people, and we were just devastated when he died. Like, it was horrible.
Sum up about the 8 Arms to Hold You project.
Oh yeah, that was fun. So basically in the 80s, like, I sang backup on a lot of things that Arthur worked on, and there were 3 of us. It was BJ Nelson, Lottie Golden, and Tina B, and we called ourselves BLT. And we sang backup for Springsteen, Sun City album, Jennifer Holiday. Just the list is Al Green. Like, the list is endless. And Arthur wrote the song 8 Arms to Hold You, and that's me, BJ, and Lottie singing that song. It's in the Goonies film, and it's
In the Goonies.
yeah.
What a career, my goodness.
I have a song in the film Something Wild. So actually, here's a story you're gonna love. I got hired to do Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So this was he'd worked on the soundtrack for Pretty in Pink, and so John Hughes liked him, so he hired him and John Roby. And Arthur and I were writing all these songs. We wrote a theme song. It was going to be sung by this 14-year-old who just gotten signed to A&M, Shanice Wilson. The album was on A&M. They had a deal with A&M. So I wrote the song for one of the scenes. It was called Testimonial. And so anyway, and we wrote this song called Wake Up Call for when, like, he was in the bed and he wasn't really in the bed, but then he had the stereo making the noise. Yeah. And that song ended up going to Ian Hunter, and it ended up in the movie The Wraith. And then the song Testimonial, because what happened was John Hughes went to A&M Records and said he wanted his own sub-label. So they said, okay, for the soundtrack album. And then he said, and I want you to give me $5 million for my sub-label. So they said, why the fuck would we do that?
Really?
Right? And he said, because if you don't do that, I'm not going to have original music in this film. And there is no original music in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And that is the reason why. And when we got the phone call that it was pulled, I saw my retirement going out the door. It was like, that would have been so much money, right? Like, ridiculous. I mean, I can't even imagine how Arthur felt. He just was like, we were all like beside ourselves. But a lot of that music got placed, and the song that I'd written for that love scene between Ferris and I forget the character's name, ended up in Something Wild. Yeah. So I did end up with, things here and there from. And the music business is just crazy. I could sit with you and watch it and sing the songs that were supposed to go in the scenes. We were almost done. I mean, the songs were in process, but they were all written, and it was like, oh my God.
How do you handle the dance? What do you give advice to somebody who, because you've been close. Things have been like the rug has been.
I have been close a million times and never, I mean, I know you guys think I'm like this great thing, but like, I always feel like I'm a never was. And in fact, it was,
wow.
Some in the 90s when the internet started, somebody had this website called the Island of Lost Pop Stars, and it was like, there was a page on me, like whatever happened to her, one hit wonder, God, whatever. Anyway, but for me, it's interesting. Of course, I would have loved to have been very successful and made gobs of money, but it was always about the music. So I would just find something else to do that I wanted to do. It didn't matter. Like, and you know what? Even at my age now, I'm still doing it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to do music and whatever makes me feel good. And if I can make money at it, great. I mean, so I'm lucky because I have a law degree. And so I've been able to.
Oh, and you got your law degree on top of everything else.
Well, I did. I actually did. I did it before we started the music stuff. So, like I got married to Arthur in law school, and he started working on music then. So, when he recorded Planet Rock, I was working in a law firm, and as soon as Planet Rock hit, I quit my job. So, like, we didn't need my salary, so it was like, okay, this is great. But having that, I could always at least fund my music career. Because that was the more important to me than anything. So it was always just for me, it was a day job. I never made a career out of being a lawyer. I never went for those huge money jobs that suck the blood out of you. I actually worked with tech startups, and that's what I still do part-time. But I've had some great clients over the years. Like, just, it's really funny because the startup field and the venture capital field is exactly the same as the music business. It's the same business model. The investors, they put a lot of money in a whole bunch of different companies. Some of them are going to hit, most of them are not, right?
Right.
And so it's the same thing as record companies. Like, they sign a lot of artists, they put out a lot of records, and only some of them are going to catch on. So it's the same mentality. So I fit with these people, so I can handle working with them. Like, I could never be like a bank lawyer, or like, doing wills or real estate. Like,
that's a boring side of law. I'm a paralegal, actually. So it's like, for me, it's all about having relationships with these people and helping them grow something that's fun for them, right? And I mean, although now I kind of feel weird with this AI because I'm not so hot on it for us as artists, right? Like, I think things have gotten a bit out of control in the technology space.
It's a little scary, but I was reading your bio. You've done so much, and I read that you worked with New Edition. You wrote for New Edition.
Yes, I did. I had a song on their first album,
UnDENYABLE. Oh my God!
Which was also on my album. It was called
really?
Ooh Baby. Since the day I saw you, baby. I mean, it was just like, oh God, it was.
How does that come about? Like, how do you get it? How do you get your as a songwriter? How do you get your songs in front of artists like New Edition?
It was all Arthur. Like,
wow.
Without him, I would not have had a career, I don't think.
Arthur, that's a huge name.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, listen, everyone says, oh, she's Arthur's wife, but I wrote really good songs, and you ask him and when he was producing Tevin Campbell, he called me up and said, give me 2 songs. Like, he produced them. I wrote them. He did not. I mean, and he's a good songwriter too. I'm not like, he wrote Messages Love. He wrote IOU. He's an excellent songwriter. But, and I've written he and I wrote a song for Jeff Beck, which was on his Flash album in 1985, which I fucking love. It's called Gets Us All in the End. And I sing backup on it. But, he wouldn't have had me involved if I wasn't doing a good job.
Right, exactly. Of course. Yeah, Arthur's his name, but it's your voice on the song.
Exactly.
Yeah, because there's many projects he did where I wasn't involved. He just was working with this person, and that was, I wasn't suited for the project, and he didn't need me to do anything. And it was always fine. And I worked with lots of other people too. So, but it was him. Like, I mean, it was just funny. We were 18 years old when we met, so we got married when we were 22.
Wow.
Oh. Do you still talk, or you still have a relationship?
Yeah, we're very close. So he got married in 2010 and asked me to be the best man at his wedding. And it was really funny.
See, it's not weird, Naija, because I'm best friends with my ex-husband.
Now, the really funny thing is, and I remember this, I don't remember a lot about the speech. I remember saying, many of you wonder why I'm giving this best man speech. I said, Arthur has no friends. And then I say, and also, I've known him longer than anyone. He used to be my babysitter. And he and I are the same age, right? So it was like funny. It was a great speech. Then I don't know if you guys have seen The Jerk. Have you seen the movie The Jerk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I said, and also what you don't know about him, he was born a poor young black child. Because he was. But then he got married, and I'm very close with his wife, and they had a daughter, and they asked me to be her godmother.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And she's 11 now. She's 11. And I moved to Florida partially to be near them because they live in Miami now, and my family's in Boca Raton, so I'm in Fort Lauderdale. So I kind of settled myself in between the two of them, so I wouldn't be too close to either, but not too far, right?
These stories are just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what I know of you from what I've read and what I've heard and being a fan, but you've gone behind the scenes and told us all this juicy, good stuff. And there's people in the chat, they're like, I'm
Freaking
loving this right now, all the information and the down the memory lane, and people are loving it. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I really am
You know
glad.
what? It was the best fucking time. The 80s were the best fucking time. They just
Hands
were.
down. Hands down.
Yeah,
I
they
loved it. I loved everything about it. Everything about it. And if it could come back, I would love it.
I
want to wear my Madonna glove. And my,
so that's another thing. I sang on holiday. So
don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
yeah, I'm that high voice, you know? Yeah.
Right now. How was it to work with Madonna?
So, Jelly Bean, we were friends with Jelly Bean. Me and Arthur, we were at the Funhouse all the time. And then he started dating her. So, and I was actually still working as a lawyer then. And it was before, was it before? No, Planet Rocket, I hadn't quit yet. Or maybe I just quit. But Jelly Bean tells Madonna that I'm a lawyer. And then he says to me, you guys should meet. You're on the same wavelength. And I mean, in some ways we were, but in some ways we're not. I mean, tremendous respect for that woman. They got the song Holiday. Jelly Bean produced it. They asked me to come sing on it. And it was the last track. It was the first single. And it's my, I mean, there are a couple of other songs of Madonna's I love. Like I love La Isla Bonita. I love Live to Tell. But that song, you put that on and you just get happy, right? It is just like, it's
a summer anthem.
It really is.
And so the four of us, me, Arthur, and Jelly Bean and Madonna, we rented a house in the Hamptons that summer. And then she just took off. And so I just remember she played at some place in Sag Harbor called Bay Street in July. And her whole entourage was sleeping in the lawn of our house. Like it was but then they stopped coming after a couple of, like 1 month because she just got too busy.
Wow.
And we stayed friends for a while, but it was hard to maintain it. And I haven't seen her since 1990, I don't think. Voice now, so I sing on IOU, like I'm a very big presence on that record too. Mm-hmm. And you can hear my voice in that background on Holiday. Like you can. Now that you know.
I'm going to start listening to all these songs all over again.
Yeah.
There she goes. Yep, that's her. I'm going to listen to all those songs.
No, I love singing. I actually love singing backup because I love singing with other people. And usually you've got more than one backup singer, although on IOU it was just me and John Rocco, who was the lead singer. But still, I was singing with him. It's fun. I mean, I just love it.
You just have such good energy. You can tell you love music. You can just see.
Yeah. No, I mean, there is nothing else. I mean, really? Sorry.
No, it's awesome. Oh my God.
I think it's fantastic. Another one of your singles, The Bodyguard.
Yeah. Bodyguard.
Yeah, directed by Adam Yauch.
Yeah, he's the one of the Beastie Boys who died, unfortunately. And I've known him for a long time. Like he went to the same high school I went to, but he was a lot younger than me. And he worked for us. He was an assistant engineer at our studio, which was called Shakedown. A lot of the freestyle stuff had been recorded there. The Latin Rascals worked there. They had their own little room, and so he worked for us. So we got to be very friendly with him. And they did their demos there, the Beastie Boys, at our studio.
Your songs, they're gonna, like a lot of the songs from this genre, they're gonna live on. Things happen. Freestyle goes, comes, and whatever. It comes in waves and then goes whatever. But not only through the music that you wrote, but also in movies, and people are going to see these movies over and over again and know that you were involved. And here, now that they heard all these backgrounds that you've done for all these artists, I'm sure they're going to be just like me, listening to all these songs again and just to be like listening to you in and out. And I know, to me, like the legacy that we leave behind is a great thing. How do you feel about the longevity that your songs have to this day?
It's really funny. I mean, so freestyle, it's really interesting because I never really thought of myself as a freestyle artist. I was just doing, I was working with the people who were around me who were all really cool. And also this is really funny because I wasn't Latin and everybody was Latin in the early days, right? Like it was actually called Latin freestyle. Yeah. It's no longer called that, but, and so in 1987, The Face magazine, which was a very hip English music magazine, did a piece on Latin freestyle, right? And there's a picture of me in it. I'm like the only person that's not Latin. You know, it was Brenda and Maribel and, you know, all those people, the Latin Rascals. And then, you know, I'm Jewish, right? Like, okay, right? Okay. No, this is a funny. I got to tell you one more funny story. I was in the fun house, right? And I don't know why I did this. There was this girl. She was really drunk, and I said, okay, you know, I'm going to take her out and get her into a cab, right? So I take her out, and it's like 3 a.m. I get her into a cab. I go back in, and they say to me, "You can't come in. The club's closed." And I said, "But my bag's in there. My husband's in there." And they're like, "Sorry, the club's closed." I go, "I'm Tina B," and they go, "No, you're not. She's black."
Surprise.
Okay, so I'm Latin, I'm black, I'm whatever.
You could pass for Italian. I agree, JW.
Well, yeah, because I grew up in Brooklyn. I lived in an Italian neighborhood. All my friends were Italian. My first band was all Italian. In fact, Carmine Appice, who from Vanilla Fudge, his younger brother Vinny was the first drummer in the band that I was in when I was 11 or 12. Like, yeah, it was all. I mean, my whole upbringing was with Italians. So we were talking about this the other day. If you're from New York, you're Jewish and Italian.
Or Puerto Rican. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn too, but it all blends in. It all blends in when you're in New York.
Yes,
I know. Yeah, I know. The best place to grow up. So grateful to have grown up in New York City. Absolutely.
You guys live near each other, so maybe you could collaborate one of these days.
Yeah, we could.
Come on, you never know.
We could.
She would. That would be
like the icing on top of the freaking wedding cake.
Yeah,
make it happen. Make it happen.
And someone said, 2 people in the chat. I think it was Sarah who said you should write a book. And then DJ Tomate, I think he said it should be called the Queen Bee Zone. I think he said.
Like, you're the original Beehive, not Beyonce. Beyonce,
great, because your stories. Oh my God, fill up a book.
I know, but now it's really funny what I'm doing now. So I just recorded a song with a 22-year-old EDM artist who lives in LA. I wrote it with him and recorded it. I know, seriously. I was in LA visiting friends of mine, and this friend said, "Oh, let's go talk to this guy." I mean, it just happened. And so, you know, he signed to some EDM label. Who knows? Anyway, so I just did that. I got this classic rock band here in South Florida. We haven't gigged yet. We're on a new drummer now. Hopefully that'll be good. I'm doing a little bit of recording on a sort of indie thing I wrote, and I'm just and still Rockers Revenge. So we may go out and do some gigs again.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It's whatever, like just anything I can. You know, it's funny because I started getting called for freestyle gigs, and then the calls just stopped. And you know, I think it's okay. I don't like to stay up late. I'll be honest. The last gig I did was a 10/18 reunion in New York City, and I didn't go on until 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. And you know, it's like we did the sound check at 6:00, and it was perfect. John Minnis was there, the Diamond Girl. I love John Minnis. He lives right near me. He was right near me. And he and I, we were goofing around, and we had a great sound check. And then when I got up there to sing at 2:30 in the morning, my voice was like, "I'm tired now."
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, and you know, you just have to face reality. I'm older, and I can't do gigs at 2:00 in the morning. And so I don't know, like, or even at midnight. Like, I just would prefer 7, 8.
I prefer brunch. I
Yeah.
like mid-afternoon.
Outdoor shows.
We're gonna have to bring you to Philly, or when me and Naya do a show, we would love to have you. Do you think you'll make a new freestyle record? Is that in the future, or no? You're content with doing what you're doing?
No, I wouldn't say no. I just, you know, got no plans. But if the situation was right, you know, if someone wanted to do a duet, I wouldn't.
I'm just saying. I think the world needs it.
I'm just saying, you know.
I think Florentine could do with it. What? Gino, are you still in there? Gino?
Make it happen, ladies. Make it happen. Girl power all the way.
Honorable would that be?
Look at her face. She's blushing.
But I got to tell you, Tina, thank you so much. It's been such an honor to have you here tonight. It's like,
I know, it's like way past my bedtime.
But you made this girl's night, because just having you on here, listening to your stories, you've been an icon to me. I've been a huge fan of yours for years. I've always talked about you. I've talked to Janine, which I was telling her, you know, we're gonna have Tina B. She was like, oh, cool. And I was like, no, it's not cool. It's
You lost her
fucking
mind a little bit.
fantastic.
I'm so excited.
I'm so grateful you asked me. It's been so great to meet you, Deneen.
It's so nice. I'm honored. I really am. What an amazing career. We're honored. Thank you for being
I
here.
know it's not gonna stop because I see the fire in you still.
Passion.
I don't know. Like,
You
that's
know?
all that there is, you know?
And I love a woman that drops an F bomb because we're big with the F bomb.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like to say the word. So
You know,
You fit right in.
everything's
true. No,
even the White House.
Someone said bring her to Calandras in New Jersey.
we got to bring her to Adelphia. I think she's gonna be-
Calandros? What is that? Is that a restaurant?
Calandras. Yeah, they do events there, and let me tell you, just like Adelphia, they've got amazing food. I love performing in places where they have amazing
New
food.
Jersey's good because my peeps in New York. I love an opportunity to go visit New York, so it's cool.
Listen,
Nice.
we'd love to have you. We're
Well,
gonna
I'm
make
gonna
it.
be in Boca. Oh, thank you so much. It was such a wonderful time, and thank you everyone for sticking. See, we always go past the hour. You never know what's gonna happen. But it's a great interview.
You can split this into 2 shows, you know?
It's so
Someone
interesting.
already said, let's bring her back because I'm sure she has more stuff to say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it
It will
all.
be great. It will be in the planning, but thank you so much.
Okay.
Tina.
No, thank you so much. Great to meet you guys.
My
And
God.
thanks to everybody who watched.
Yeah.
Check out Tina, check out her website, and definitely check out the rebroadcast on Wednesday night, 8:00 on Power. What is it? 7
Oh, where can they find you? Where can they follow you, Tina?
Well, I'm just like Jenny. Like, I don't post a lot on social media. So I have 2 Facebook pages. One is a Tina B page, and then of course my own personal page. My website is tinabmusic.com. And then that has links to Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, I've got tons of music up. It's not everything I've ever done, but it's a lot of stuff that was never released. So there's fun.
Nice.
There's stuff to listen to.
So now you know.
Thank you so much. What should I do now? Are you gonna just kick me out?
We're gonna. No, I could never now. No, I won't have it.
Do I need to do something, or
No, you're fine. We're gonna play our ending and just thank everybody. Shout outs to Erica, JW, Marlon, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. We love you guys, and catch you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
I remember the games we played. I remember. Baby, now and forever, won't you stay with me always?
And this is Undeniable.